Hi everyone, I am the Tax Pro, and today I'm going to show you how to apply for an automatic extension of time to file your individual tax return. Now, a couple of things that I want to clarify. When we are filing an extension to file, we are requesting an extension to file the tax return. This is not an extension to pay the tax due. Okay, so this gives you an automatic 6-month extension to file the tax return. What that does is it protects you from a failure to file penalty as long as you file within that 6-month extension period. Okay, so if taxes are due on 4/15, then our extended deadline would then be 10/15. However, you are still required to pay your total tax due. Okay, so the IRS still expects you to pay the tax that you owe by the original deadline, generally 4/15 for individuals. Okay, so this is an automatic extension of time to file. It does not protect you from failure to pay penalties. And if you owe the IRS tax, you will still be assessed interest. It just protects you from a failure to file penalty, not failure to pay. So you can automatically request a 6-month extension. This is straight from the IRS website. This is Form 4868, which is the form that you file in order to request, but you actually don't have to file this form in order to request. So let me show you. Up here, there are 3 ways to request an automatic extension of time to file a U.S. individual income tax return. One of the ways that you can actually do this is you can pay all or part of your estimated income tax due and then indicate that it's for an extension. So you can send the IRS a payment and indicate that it is an extension payment. You don't even have to send in Form 4868 at that point in time, okay? So you can send the IRS money, say it's for an extension, and they will automatically put you on extension. Now, how do you know how much you should pay? An extension to file is not an extension to start preparing your tax return, okay? It is an extension in the event that for some reason you can't get access to a particular form, you're waiting for an updated form, something along those lines. So when you file this form, the IRS expects you to have some idea of what you're supposed to pay. Now, in practice, does that always happen? No, right? But that's why you still get the failure to pay penalty and the interest. The other alternative is you can electronically file this Form 4868. At my firm, we electronically file this for clients if they need an extension. You can also file this through like self-serve e-filing software. You can then file this Form 4868. You can also file this form by paper by mailing it in. Now, you are going to mail it in. I highly, highly recommend that you do so in a IRS compliant way, meaning that you have tracking, you have proof of delivery, you have proof of the date that you mailed it, okay? If you just stick a stamp on it and put it in the mail, if they don't get it, or if they lose it, because it's also a possibility, then you have no proof that you actually sent it. You also don't have proof of the day that you sent it, right? Because the extension has to be filed on 4/15 or by 4/15. You could certainly file it earlier in the year, but it has to be filed by 4/15. If you don't have proof that you filed it by 4/15, the IRS may not honor the extension. So this is the start of Form 4868. This is what it looks like. It's pretty simple. So essentially you put your name, your address, make sure you put your social security number. If you are married, you put your spouse's social security number on here as well. And then you let the IRS know what your estimated total tax liability for 2024 is going to be. Okay, so the total tax, not what you owe the IRS, but the total tax liability overall. So what you think you would have owed before any of your withholding, before any estimated tax payments, in general, what you think you would have owed. And then you're going to enter your total 2024 payments. Total 2024 payments would be estimated taxes, withholding, that kind of thing. And then you're going to put the balance due, the estimated balance due, right? So this is not a tax return. This is your estimate. And then the amount that you're going to pay. That's filling out form 4868. It's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. Now, page 2 is going to go into all of this. Okay, the late payment penalty is going to apply if you don't pay all of your tax due, right? So it goes in here, total time allowed. It says generally we can't extend the due date of your return for more than 6 months. If you have extenuating circumstances such as there's a significant medical issue going on that is going to realistically last longer than 6 months, there's other procedures for requesting extensions, time to extend your tax return, extension to pay even, but this is an automatic 6-month extension. So this doesn't matter it doesn't matter what your circumstances are. Okay, so maybe you just forgot to file your tax return. Maybe you went on vacation for 3 months. Maybe, you just didn't feel like preparing your taxes. This is an automatic 6-month extension. The IRS doesn't ask you why you're requesting this 6-month extension, okay? It is available for everybody. If you have extenuating circumstances, there's other relief available depending on those circumstances, some of which may be an extension to pay, but that is very much dependent on your circumstances, okay? So that is how to file an extension. I'm going to quickly run through it one more time. You'll see that this is 4 pages, and right here on page 4 is where to paper file. Before I run through it one more time, if you could do me a favor and like and subscribe, that allows us to make free content, and it would be super helpful for us. So let me run through Form 4868 one more time. Form 4868 is your extension to file, but not an extension to pay. Okay? So this is an extension to file your individual income tax return. It gives you an automatic 6-month extension. You can either file Form 4868 and or you can make a payment for your estimated income tax due and indicate that it is a payment for an extension. And then you don't have to file 4868. The IRS grants you that 6-month extension. You can also e-file Form 4868 or you can paper file. Form 4868 is super easy to fill out. It's pretty short right here. You put your identifying information in. You put your estimated total tax liability, the total payments, the balance due, and the amount that you're paying. Okay? And then you either mail this in. Those addresses are on page 4. Or you can e-file this. Most e-file softwares, like if you're using a self-service software, have the option to do this. Remember that this is an extension to file, not an extension to pay, okay? So if you file an extension and you owe the IRS money, you will not avoid failure to pay penalties and interest. And if you have any questions, let me know. Otherwise, I will see you guys next time.